Luckily, some of the themes that I wanted to talk about today have already been addressed, and I'm going to focus or sort of refocus ideas we've heard today around three different ways of thinking about higher education, because I think those are instructive if we're to think about where universities have the advantage and where newcomers into higher education may have the advantage. The three things that I distinguish between are taking a class, going to college, and getting an education. They're certainly related, but they're not the same thing, and we've heard a lot of ideas already today about why that's true. One of the places where universities have an edge around taking classes is that they have expert faculty and they have credit. Now, they don't have the entire universe of expert faculty. We've heard today, they're experts in a number of other areas as well. But they do have many deep experts, and part of why the MOOC experience has generated so much hyperbole and excitement has been because they are offered by faculty who are both scholars and good teachers. It's very difficult to unbundle the research and teaching functions in a way that creates the people who are these very powerful experts with broad recognition. However, I would expect that in the future that we'll see a lot more diversity in how courses are offered at universities, online, by experts in the field, one-on-one mentoring, and many other kinds of things. Credit is a very interesting thing, and I'm surprised it hasn't come up at all today. Right now, universities have a lock on credit. And for undergraduates, credit is still very important as a trigger for either a job or for graduate school. For people already out in their professions trying to improve their skills, credit may or may not be important. MBA, somebody mentioned just a minute ago, MBAs can be a very critical thing for some people, but you could probably get expertise in ways that don't require credit courses. And for lifelong learners, credit is generally not that important. The person who spoke earlier about poetry and French, you probably don't need any more class credits in those in order to take advantage of them. So I do think we'll see a lot more variety in classes, and one of the things I expect will be different in the future is that universities are going to have to consider whether they will either give credit or bypass credit and allow faster movement through curriculum in recognition for people getting skills and knowledge and competency in other ways. I think we will be wrestling with that at Duke and many other institutions within the next year or two as students come to us and say, I took a class with one of the best experts from Princeton in one of the online classes. I took an electronics course from MIT. Either give me credit for those things, tell me what I need to do to prove it, and give me the credit, or at least tell me I don't have to take the courses over again. I actually had a student say, I'm taking all of these courses, I don't want credit for them, but I certainly don't want to spend my Duke tuition doing a course that I feel I've already done. So that's classes. So let's think about the second thing, going to college. And we've already heard from a number of people today that going to college is so much more than taking classes. Growing up, discovering what you're good at, making friends, developing a professional network, even going to sports and parties are part of an experience that many young people want. And for that, residential colleges and universities certainly have the edge right now. But we also know that 18 to 24-year-olds who want to take 4 years of their life and go live somewhere is only a very small part of the total college population. So I think that residential colleges will change even as other opportunities become available for people who don't want to go to residential college. I can imagine that students will do more of their coursework online and use their residential time for project-based work. They might do the residential part in less than 4 years. There's nothing really magic about 4 years. That's just the way we do it now. Or they might do residencies at more than one institution based in part on sampling educational experiences online from a variety of places and deciding I want to spend some time at Duke and some time at NYU and some time at MIT. All right, getting an education is more than just classes and certainly more than going to college. So I'll mention just one class that I think captured that for us this year. The very first MOOC course that we taught at Duke was a biomedical engineering course called Quantitative Bioelectricity. So who would take a course like that for no credit? Well, we had high school students who were thinking about a major. We had researchers who were already experts in the field and wanted to connect with other people. We had nurses from cardiac units of hospitals, yoga instructors wanting to know more about the nervous system, medical students, journalists specializing in health writing, and so on. So that one class is such a vivid reminder that getting an education is much more than going to college or taking classes. It's very difficult to accommodate all of those within those courses, and that's why we're starting to modify both the MOOC format and our campus classes. I think that the university models that are most threatened are those that address career development, but do it in a very expensive way, because I think there are going to be a lot of other ways for people to do that. But universities could reimagine themselves with undergraduates by connecting them with people working in the field from the very beginning of their education, not at the end. They could give them challenging, exciting classes, specialized classes at the beginning of their education, and then save the broad introductory sort of context-setting things for later on, instead of in deadening large introductory lecture classes. Or they could rethink their time frame to expand when they consider someone to be a student at their institution, both before and beyond what they currently do. So to conclude, higher education is not just one thing, and the provocation I leave you with is that good quality higher education is much more than the sum of its parts.
Thank you.